A plane loses control and crashes into a building in New York City. Captain Sully wakes up from the nightmare, gasping for air. To clear his mind, he goes for a run and narrowly avoids being hit by a car. A week ago, Captain Sully safely landed U.S. Airways Flight 1549 on the river, saving 155 lives, now known as the Miracle on the Hudson. Media coverage still reflects on this remarkable event, while survivors expresses gratitude for the captain's heroic actions. Sully and his co-pilot, Jeff Skillis, also a friend, are called into the National Transportation Safety Board meeting. Charles Porter questions why Sully didn't return to LaGuardia. Sully explains that the altitude was inefficient and it would have been risky. Relying on his experience, he made quick decisions. Despite theoretical calculations on losing both engines, he trusted his judgment. Sully requests to oversee the simulation, and it was denied. Sully maintains contact with his wife, Lorraine, and their daughters, but Lorraine is concerned about his well-being since the incident. The media scrutinized the event, and Sully faces questioning by reporters. During an interview, he dismisses the label of national hero. He's a man simply doing his job. Sully has been flying for 42 years. A flashback takes us to his teen years, flying with Lieutenant Cook, a crop-dusting pilot, who taught him important lessons of making mistakes and learning from them, and to never forget, no matter what happens, to fly the airplane. During the interview break, Sully stands by the window and hallucinates, seeing Fly 1549 crash into the building. Mike informs Sully ACAR's data indicated the left engine was still idle and NTSB knows, but Sully personally felt both engines fail while in mid-air. At another meeting, Jeff stands in defense of Sully. He meticulously lays out the series of actions Sully took during the incident, underscoring Sully's reliance on his wealth of experience rather than regularly adhering to the safety protocol list, which Jeff had in his hands. Elizabeth presents evidence from ACAR's data, indicating that the left engine was idle. The computer simulations have replicated successful landings at both LaGuardia and Teterboro runways with the same parameters. Sully finds himself at a loss for words, requesting to review the parameters of the situation. Elizabeth mentions that the footage of the simulation will be kept confidential until the investigation is concluded, citing concerns about media interference. Sully expresses to Jeff that the current recounting of the events from the meeting doesn't match his memory of the incident. Jeff acknowledges. Sully, Jeff, and the 3 flight attendants join David Letterman's show to recount their experience. In a flashback to that fateful day, Sully takes off from LaGuardia and soars over the cityscape. Sully announces birds as the aircraft engine collides with a flock of birds. Passengers feel the jolt. Sully calmly declares, both engines are down. He initiates the APU and instructs Jeff to retrieve the quick reference handbook. Sully contacts air traffic control, informing them of the loss of thrust on both engines and the need to return to LaGuardia. As air traffic noted the emergency, LaGuardia cleared a runway. Sully, resolute, reports the possibility of a Hudson landing. Air traffic swiftly arranges water rescue. Sully requires about the plane's right side and runway availability at Teterboro in New Jersey. Immediately, a runway is cleared in Teterboro. Radar contact is lost. A helicopter spots the A320, confirming the impending water landing. Air traffic recalls doubting Sully's Hudson choice, his calm voice bellying the gravity of the situation. While jogging, Sully is besieged by doubts and about his water landing. A passing jet triggers a flashback to his youth, when he faced a hydraulic malfunction while flying a jet. Though instructed to turn towards a nearby runway, Sully remains resolute in his decision to maintain a straight course ahead. Also, urged to slow down, Sully remains steadfast in his need for speed to maintain control. Drawing on his experience, he executed a successful landing, ensuring the safety of him and the passenger. Sully takes a seat at a bar, prompting recognized by both bartenders and the fellow patrons as the television airs news about him. On January 15th, 2009, a man crossing bridges, an elderly gentleman in his apartment, and a businessman in a meeting all witnessed a low-flying plane heading towards the city. The passengers, praying and anxious, follow the flight attendant's instruction to stay down as the plane descends. As the aircraft plunges into the river, time seems to pause momentarily, leaving passengers uncertain of what lays ahead as water floods in. Sully quickly takes charge, directing everyone to evacuate and grab life jackets, while flight attendants announce the opening of the forward door. With water beginning to flood in, more exit doors are open, and passengers must evacuate urgently. Amidst the chaos, a man jumps into the water, attempting to swim to the city, while others continue their evacuation efforts. Sully distributes blankets to combat the chilling cold, emphasizing the need for swift rescue to prevent hypothermia. As one woman slips into the water, the New York Coast Guard swiftly responds to the unusual sight of a plane in the water, racing to the scene for immediate rescue. The flight crew instructs everyone to keep moving forward and to keep their life jackets on. Some passengers slide down the raft while others stand on the wing of the plane. The rescue boat from the Coast Guard arrives, providing passengers with additional life jackets, blankets, and assistance onto the boat. More rescue boats arrive to lend aid. Passengers, some crying, may feel a sense of relief at having survived the ordeal. With the water temperature at 35 Fahrenheit and a wind chill of -5, reports indicate the passengers have only minutes to survive. A helicopter joins the rescue effort, with the team diving into the water to assist passengers who have fallen into the river. Sully ensures that everyone is off the plane, swiftly gathers his belongings, and is the last to exit the aircraft. Together with Jeff, he unhooks the raft attached to the plane. 300 men join the rescue efforts. The man who attempted to swim to the city is rescued. Sully, the last to board the rescue boat, ascends and gazes back at the plane in the water. He calls his wife to reassure her and their daughters of his safety. Upon returning to New York, Sully urgently requests a head count from his colleague, Dan eagerly for reassurance and promises to provide the count promptly. Meanwhile, a son reaches out to his father, relieved to have been rescued to the New Jersey side. In the air traffic control office, the staff grapples with the loss of a plane full of passengers. His colleague informs him of the miraculous landing in the river. Concerned for the welfare of the flight attendants, Sully inquires about their injuries as they undergo medical examinations. Upon receiving the head count of exactly 155, Sully feels a wave of relief wash over him. Arriving at the hotel, Sully discovers a fortune cookie note in his wallet that reads, "A delay is better than a disaster." From the flashback, Sully remembers something. He called Larry to request for the simulation at the hearing in 2 days. At the Federal Aviation Administration, Sully and Jeff arrive for the National Transportation Safety Board meeting. At Sully's request, they upload simulations of the flight. The first simulation reenacts the bird encounter and landing at LaGuardia, with the computer warning of low altitude before a successful landing. In the second simulation, heading to Teterboro, another successful landing is achieved. Charles questions the purpose of viewing the simulation. Sully asserts that human factors must be considered, noting that the pilots were experienced and act promptly after the bird strike without checking the auxiliary power unit. Charles interrupts, reminding Sully that the parameters are the same. Sully emphasized that no one could have predicted a dual-engine loss at such a low altitude. It's never occurred in aviation history, yet the pilots calmly return to the runway without panic, with 155 lives on board, as if it's a routine task. No pilot has ever been trained for such a situation before. Regarding the landing at Teterboro with an unrealistic bank angle, Sully inquired about the pilot's training and preparation. Elizabeth revealed that the pilot had practiced the landing 17 times before. The board has agreed to conduct the simulation with a 35-second delay for human analysis, reactions, and decision-making. The scenarios unfold differently. In the new simulation, after the burst strike, the crew awaits for 35 seconds before heading towards LaGuardia. The automated voice warns of terrain and advises pulling up, but the plane ultimately crashes into a bridge. In the Teterboro simulation, shortly after the wait, the pilot acknowledges being too low. The jet alarm goes off again. They crash into the city. Following the simulations, they listen to the cockpit voice recording of January 15, 2009. As the plane takes off, Sully warns Jeff of the potential burst strike. Assessing the situation, Sully immediately realizes that both engines are hit. He initiates the auxiliary power unit and instructs Jeff to retrieve the quick reference handbook. With thrust lost on both engines, Sully communicates with air traffic and initiates a turn. Although LaGuardia's runway is available, Sully informs them of their inability to make it and the possibility of landing in the Hudson River. Jeff diligently checks all settings according to the QRH. Sully inquires about Teterboro as the aircraft passes over the river and bridge. The automated warning system alerts them, prompting Sully to instruct passengers to brace for impact as he secures his seatbelt. Air traffic confirms Teterboro as an option, but Sully remains skeptical, foreseeing a landing in the Hudson River. Despite the ongoing warnings, Sully maintains his composure and guides Jeff on what to do. The automated voice persists as they navigate the critical situation. From the cockpit, the front window is almost at eye level as Sully gently controls the aircraft for the forced landing. The plane glides across the river. After the CVR is played, Sully takes a moment to collect himself. Jeff joins him. Sully reflects on the experience, acknowledging the numerous distractions they face, highlighting their teamwork and successful execution of their duties. Returning to the hearing, Charles remarks that this is the first time they've listened to a CVR recording and describes it as extraordinary. Elizabeth reports on the finding of the retrieved crashed plane. The previous ACARS report was incorrect. Both engines were indeed not working, just as Sully had stated. In every scenario of the investigation, Sully's decision would not have led to a successful outcome, resulting in him as the answer to the equation. But Sully humbly disagrees, attributing the successful outcome to the collective efforts of the entire flight crew, passengers, rescue crew, and air traffic control. Sully emphasizes that the number 155 represents more than just a numerical figure. It symbolizes the lives of real people, each with their own identities, relationships, and stories. For upcoming content, click like, pound that subscribe, and hit notification. Thank you for watching.